everyone, and welcome. It is Wendy Young at Kidlutions for the Joyful Parent, and I want to talk directly to you about parenting. And in my book, it is not only the biggest job we'll ever have, it is the toughest job we'll ever have. And I say that not only speaking from my own experience, but from working with the thousands of families that I've worked with throughout the decades that I've been a child and adolescent therapist. And the bottom line is, it all starts with us. Who we are, what we bring to the table, what we're all about, where our stress level is, how we're managing all that big stuff in our own life, all comes to impact who we are as parents and who we are to our children ultimately. And the universal truth is, our children are looking to us to know how to handle all of the big stuff, the big feelings, the big upsets, the big disappointments, the big things that happen in life that kind of throw us off track and get us kind of mucked up and get us in not so great a place sometimes. And we have a tall order to fill when it comes to helping them figure it all out. So we have to get it straight with ourselves first. And that's certainly one of the things that we'll be covering during our 4-week course on the Joyful Parent. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I titled this The Joyful Parent. I think joy begets joy, and that the kind of joy I'm talking about when I talk about the Joyful Parent is not the kind of joy that's a fake, oh, we'll just make this work, everything's fine, everything's wonderful, in denial kind of joy, because that's no good for anybody. This joy is true joy that comes from the inside and works its way out. And when we know certain ways to manage things, when we know how to get our own heads on right, we have a lot easier time helping our kids do the same thing. Now you might think, oh, that sounds wonderful if you have a kid who does everything you say. And I agree that that would be wonderful and it would make our job a lot easier. But we don't always get those kind of kids that are easy and make our life and our job as parents walk in the park. Far from it. I know that firsthand, and I know that based on the families that I've worked with for many years. So this class is the culmination of more than 25 years of direct service working with families, and my own experience for 22 years in the parenting arena. And I'll tell you, it is a humbling experience, isn't it? So tonight we start out with our free mini webinar and printables that are going to start you thinking a little bit differently about parenting, about relationships, about what we might need to do just starting off the bat, right out of the gate, some things that we can start doing with our kids to start changing things around. And the change does not come from them. The change, like in any great organization, comes from the top down. From the top down. That's us, the big people in the big bodies with the big brains. We start this joy movement in our homes. Are you ready? I hope so. I don't think you would be here if you weren't. So tonight we take a look at relationships, we take a look at connection, and in particular face-to-face connection, which is why it's so important for me to be here with you talking directly so that you can see me, and even though I can't see you, I can imagine you there on the other side of my screen. We'll be talking about face-to-face connection. We'll be talking about what that does in the brain and how we can increase our connection with our kids to begin with. Then as the 4-week program unfolds, we'll be talking way more about neuroscience, way more about brains, way more about the neurochemistry and neurobiological needs that children have and that we all have as human beings, and how we can respond to that in ways that improves behavior in a much quicker way and in a much more lasting way. But don't let me lead you astray. When I say in a much quicker way, I don't mean overnight. Not by far. This is a process. This is not something that you try for a day or 3 days or a week or a month. This is a commitment to doing things differently until your brain grows new synapses itself and is prepared to respond to any behavior your child throws your way in a loving, empathic, and helpful manner. It's going to make life better and more joyful for everyone. I know this much is true. We'll see you on the inside.